excited to make some healthy habits for this new year, but you don't want to sacrifice great taste? Well, stay tuned, and I'll explain. Welcome to this week's episode, where we're going to look at healthy recipes, but we don't have to compromise on our taste. So I'll give you 3 wine recommendations to go with these healthy recipes. Well, then stay to the end, and I'll describe how one of these recipes helped me reach my health goals. Let's take a look at each one. So for the first wine, one of the healthy recipes I came across, and I have made this a few times, it's really nice, especially for this time of year when you're inside, is a poached whitefish. And, it's very delicate when you take the whitefish and you poach it. The recipe called for trout, but I think I'm going to use halibut. I find poaching with fish that's slightly thicker, it comes out a little bit better. But, there's not a lot of flavor if we're just poaching our fish. So instead of putting a rich, heavy sauce like hollandaise over it, I think let's pump up the flavor with our wine. So I went with a Riesling from the Mosel, and it's nice because with the fish, the acidity in the Riesling will come right through. This is a beautiful Riesling. It's some pear notes, a little bit of honey, not too sweet, some really pretty floral notes in it as well as Rieslings tend to be. And because it's from the Mosel, it's not too heavy. Just a nice medium to light body, and I think it's going to really help that poached whitefish stand out on your plate, and you feel like, well, you haven't had to go and put a heavy sauce on it. So for a poached whitefish, let's do a German Riesling from the Mosel Valley, and this Dr. Lucen I think is going to be an excellent recommendation for you. So for our second recipe and my second wine recommendation, I came across a recipe that is it's called an herbed brown rice. Brown rice, a little healthier for us than white rice. And it has fava beans and corn and peas in it. And then the recommendation was, well, you could keep it that way and keep it vegetarian and obviously quite healthy. Or if you wanted to add some tuna or some shrimp to it. I think that's a good idea. And this wine will be great. There's actually nothing like Italian wines and food pairing. It's one of those go-tos that you're probably going to be in very good shape. Well, this is the Orvieto from Ruffino, and I have been in love with this wine for a few years now. And I think it's going to be a nice, light-bodied white wine that has some nice peach notes, some good acidity that I think will help enhance maybe the fava beans and the peas and the corn, and maybe help that brown rice spark up a little bit so it's not too boring for you. So a very healthy recommendation from Italy that I think is going to complement. Beautiful grapes. If you haven't had this before, the Trebbiano and Uni Blanc from Orvieto in Umbria. It's just a delightful wine, not too expensive, right around the $10 range. And I found this one at my local grocery store. I've seen it at fine wine retailers. So very easy to find. And in fact, since we're eating so much more healthy in the new year, I would maybe stock up on this one because I can see it going with great many pasta dishes. And I'm really into the whole grain pasta dishes lately. I think those are really nice. This works too, and it works with seafood, and it works with just vegetarian dishes. So I think it's a very nice recommendation for you. So look for the Orvieto to go with our herbed brown rice, fava beans, peas, and corn, and maybe some tuna or maybe some shrimp if we want to add some of that kind of protein to it. So enjoy. So this is our third recipe and our third wine, and this one is a very delicious one. And it's going to be a chickpea stew, but we're going to add spinach to it, and we're going to add tomatoes, some saffron, make it quite nice and exotic, and some golden raisins. And then I would serve it on top of some, say, whole wheat couscous. I've been really enjoying the whole wheat couscous lately too at our house. So what wine would be a good complement to that? Well, I'm going to go with one of my, I'd say in the last 2 years, I have really been enjoying this wine. From Pine Ridge, it's from California, and it's mostly Chenin Blanc. And if you've been watching our show, you know what huge fans I am of the Chenin Blanc grape. And you'll hear me talk about that in some other episodes. So in the Loire Valley, it may be called Vouvray. And I just really love these wines. So it's mostly Chenin Blanc, but it has a little bit of Viognier in it. And you're going to notice some peach aromas, a little bit of jasmine. It has some nice acidity, which I think will really help get through the chickpeas and the couscous. And it's just a delightful wine. It's so good you could just drink it while you're making your chickpea and spinach stew. It's great on its own. It's really nice with food. Both the Chenin Blanc and the Viognier, very famous in France, right? So the Viognier, the Vouvrays, and the Viognier is very popular in southern France. So really tried and true grapes. Absolutely delicious alternative. To say if you're used to maybe some Chardonnays with your dinners, I think this would be a really nice alternative. Enjoy. I sure hope you enjoyed this week's episode where we looked at some healthy recipes for the new year, along with some nice wines that help complement those dishes. Well, as promised, I would tell you about a personal story about how one of the recipes helped me reach one of my health goals. And it was that chickpea and spinach stew. I was about maybe a year ago where my doctor said he would like to put me on some medicine to help lower my very high cholesterol. And I thought, well, before I do the medicine, I'd like to try diet. And so I did some research, and it tends to be diets high in beans and legumes, so lots of lentils and peas, things like that. If I increase those, which is easy for me because I love those anyway, that could be a natural way to help lower your cholesterol. So I probably increased those in my diet, finding all kinds of clever ways. Really not too hard. Sometimes I would do pasta with some white beans and garlic and olive oil, add some spinach or have it over some broccoli. Wow, very healthy, very delicious, great with wine. And you know what? 6 months later, I went in for a checkup and my cholesterol was indeed lower. So kind of a nice win-win. I get the foods I like to eat, they're high in fiber, help me lower my cholesterol, and they're all very wine-friendly. So I hope you have success in all of your health goals for this new year, and I wish you all the best. Thank you for being such loyal subscribers. I hope you remember to share our videos with your friends and family. And you may have to let them know how to subscribe. Not everyone knows how to subscribe when they're on YouTube. And I sure would appreciate if you could give them a hand. Well, all this talk about wine and good, light, healthy cooking makes me thirsty. So until next time, cheers everyone.